Hello, good evening. Welcome to another beautiful Saturday. How are you all doing? My name is Rosemary Henry Eze, and tonight on the Young Women and Wives with Bodies and Blessings discussion platform, we'll be looking at a very sensitive topic, and that is minimalism in living, embracing simplicity to focus on what truly matters. I welcome you to another beautiful Saturday. How are you doing? And as it is our custom, I like to get to know you. We like to get to know you. We like to get to interact with you. So what we do is, as soon as you join us, please tell us where you are joining us from. I am joining us from the beautiful province of Prince Edward Island in the land of Canada. How are you? And I can see someone has joined us. And that person happens to be Olabisi Rachel. Thank you. Good evening, Ma. Welcome to tonight's discussion. The topic of discussion is one. Thank you so much. Olabisi is joining us from Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's a beautiful Saturday. It's quite cold, and I learned also that back home in Nigeria that it's raining, in some places, cats and dog. Thank you for joining us. The topic of minimalism in living is not really to it's not about you being a stingy person. No, it's not about you scraping or you not enjoying life. However, with the situation of things globally, there happens to be a need for people to imbibe the minimalistic approach towards everything. Now, minimalistic approach not only in their finance but in every aspect of their lives. So we're going to be looking at different aspects of minimalism, that different aspects of areas in our lives that we should or to try to apply, minimalistic mindset. Because minimalism is a lifestyle, is a mindset, and this platform is geared towards the woman and her wholeness. One of the things that we actually speak for or stand for is that a woman is made whole, and for you as a woman, your wholeness is centered on a lot of things. Everything that is happening in your life gives birth to wholeness. Wholeness is a journey, and on this journey, as you go on this journey, it is important that you attend to every aspect of your life to bring about this wholeness. I want to ask you a question. If your life, if your room at home was your life, how would you look like? Your room at home, if it was your life, what picture does it reflect? Please kindly put your answer in the comment section. So when we talk about minimalism or minimalistic living, we are not saying that you should not have or you should not have possession. However, we are actually saying that you need to concentrate on what truly matters. And how do you do this? You have to be intentional about how you live life. One of the things that I learned early that has actually helped me in this journey that I am on, this journey of life and the journey of my financial life, my relationship, my mental and everything, is that I actually came across the concept of minimalism a very long time ago, and I intentionally, and when I then observed that it involves building, it involves you being intentional about the way you build your mind, everything about your life. I went on this journey. And someone you might actually say, oh no, this life is for enjoyment. Can I come to this life and I'm just working, I'm not enjoying what I'm working for? Now, in that area also, minimalistic living. Now, minimalistic living does not have to do with just finances only, but in every area of your life. Minimalistic living in your finances, minimalistic living even in the job you do, minimalistic living in your relationship, minimalistic living in every aspect of your life. And that is very important. As a woman, sometimes we become so burdened. Something happened to me this week, and I said to myself, oh, Rosemary, you have been lacking or lagging. That's the word. You have been lagging in this practice of this minimalistic living. Because I found out that I had, I would write my to-do list. So I had written a lot of things that I wanted to achieve. I had, listed everything and all that. But I found out that and they're all important. But I had even itemized them in order of execution, and in order of, they were all important. So it was not mainly like about order of importance, but rather in order of execution or carrying them out. And I found out that even with that, I also observed that we even breaking them down and all that, I still found out that each one of them had, was quite voluminous and had, ways that I could actually achieve them. And it began to give me, I became double-minded about it. And I, while thinking and reminiscing about it, I kind of somewhere along the line, I got bored. I just told, I said, well, I'm going back to bed. And I went straight back to bed. And this happened for 3 consecutive days. You understand what I'm saying now? So, like I said, today we are not talking about having less. It's not about you having less now. We're not talking about having less. We're not talking about, living lighter. We're not talking about having less rather. We're talking about living lighter, living with purpose. And then also, we're also talking about what? The joy, having that joy. Because really, most times, in a world that is filled with, the desire, that is filled with desire, the echo of more. A lot of people have been put under pressure. A lot of people are really put under pressure, and it is weighing so many people down. And then somewhere along the line, the pressure comes, and then before you know it, comparison comes in, and then you begin to feel inadequate. You begin to feel that you are not doing enough. You begin to feel that, oh, I'm not doing the right thing. And so minimalistic living in every aspect of our lives, not, like I said, not just only financial, even as a career person, as a business person, it's not that when someone when you hear, as a business person, you hear that this product is the in thing, you quickly rush to that product. If you hear that, oh, this career is what is making, is what is in vogue, where everyone is rushing to, you rush to that. So when it comes to me, there's something I want to read what I wrote down. I said, minimalism is an intentional living. So as a woman, as a person, if you're not intentional in living, everything will feel too cumbersome. Everything will feel overwhelming. You always feel inadequate. You always feel as if you have not achieved anything at all. So I want to ask you, what does enough mean to you? What does enough mean to you as a person? How do you define enough? When you say, oh, this is enough, how do you define it? You will find out that enough it is you that can actually define what enough truly means. So how do you define enough? And let me tell you something. When it comes to the reality of life, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication, whether you like it or not. And that saying was not by me. Leonardo da Vinci said that simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. When you come, you find out that a lot of people are burdened. A lot of people are encumbered with with the desire to have more. And the society is reading with that desire for you to have more, that pressure for you to have more. It teaches us that it's when you have more that you are happy. But really, does more equate to happiness? Does having more equate to happiness? And like I said, how do you define enough? What is enough? What is the definition of enough for you? And I want to also look at this. The problem of more is what has eaten deep into the strata of our society and is eating deep into our lives. I had an encounter I want to share. It happened to me also. My son is going back to school, so we had done a lot of things, gotten things for him and everything, but paid the school fees. And for us, the things that actually matter, the key things that are necessary for him to go to school. And then I got a text. And he said, "Oh, mommy, don't you think I need a new phone?" And I was taken aback, and I'm like, I don't understand. So I said to myself, the pressure or the desire to have, I said, oh, this boy did not see the expenditure that have been done, or the things that are necessary or that are required for him to gain access or go to the university. And now, what he is actually requesting for is a new phone. And you ask me, does he not have a phone? He has a phone. But he's beginning to want, probably the pressure, the pressure of, oh, I want to have an iPhone or everything. Even me is what I don't have an iPhone. So the problem of more is a societal problem. The problem of more is a societal problem that has eaten into the strata. And so we have a lot of people unhappy, a lot of people unsatisfied, a lot of people wanting to be more. Okay, you get this, and the next thing, oh, you want more. However, when the mindset of minimalistic living is developed, when you as a person, intentional, because it has an intention, develop, a mindset of minimalistic living, everyone will think you have enough. Everyone will think you have so much. Everyone will think you are so rich, because what? You prioritize your life via the mindset of minimalistic living. And like I said, minimalistic living, I'm not talking only about your financial life. And one of the things that steps that one should take when it comes to moving or veering towards minimalistic living is that what you will start from. What I asked the question when we started. I said, if your room in your house were to be your life, what is the picture of your room? If your room in your house now were to be what is the picture of your life? What state is your room in? So you find out that if at the moment your room is cluttered, so that means that and then you definitely know that no one likes clutter, except one has the disease called hoarding. So if your room is cluttered, definitely, even though you are feeling lazy, quote and unquote, to arrange and put it and fix it, that clutter and a disorganized room is not something that is convenient, even apart from maybe to you, to anyone. And there's something about a cluttered environment. There's something about a cluttered environment that brings uneasiness even to you as a person. That makes you feel somehow. Oloche, hi, hello, sir. Thank you. Oloche Patrick says that sufficient for the day is the evil day. Thank you, sir. So we're so encumbered with society. See, the pressure, I've come to see that the pressure of more, the pressure of the problem of more in the society, you understand now, you can actually do without being affected by it. Yes, it will hurt. You will feel like the odd one out. You will feel strange. You will feel out of place. You will feel that you are not, you are not doing you are the odd one out. But in the long run, the advantage is to you. So I want to ask you something. What is one thing in your life it's time to release? So let's look at decluttering now. When you want to declutter, let's look at decluttering, from your physical declutter, emotional, and even mental. So when we are talking about minimalistic, you're not just decluttering, just you're not just talking about minimalistic living when it comes to how you manage your finance, but even how you manage your mental health, how you manage your mental state, how you manage your physical space and state, how you manage your emotional state. When it comes to your physical, what are those unnecessary things that crowd your space? I made an observation, which it's a general popular observation. I noticed that the more space you have, let's say you rent a house, the more space you have, the more the desire to want to put something to occupy it. The more you want to put something to occupy it. The place I lived before I moved to this current place I'm living, I had to move. And when I started packing my things, when I started excuse me, when I started packing my things, I had to ask myself, when did I get all these things? When did I acquire all these things? As in, how? When did I acquire all these things? So there are things that are occupying your physical space. Don't forget, minimalistic living is not that you don't. We are not saying that you are not entitled to have more, but we are talking about you having the things that truly matters, that are needed. Said society teaches that happiness comes from more stuff, more success, more attention. When I first shared on my platform that I had just finished my BSc, a friend came to me and he said now it's masters. And I loved that he has my interest at heart. But I just smiled and I told him, I said, my brother, the work that I've even acquired, I've not used it to earn money, quote and unquote. And believe you me, there's this pressure that society brings that makes you say that this one that you have gotten, the one you have, is not sufficient. No, that you need, you now don't rest on your oars. Don't rest on your oars. There's some statement that that kind of like they may look or sound encouraging, but they are creating a mindset of a cloth of a hoarder. Of somebody hoard. It's not only physical things that you can hoard. You can be gathering and hoarding, not gathering knowledge, just the acquire. You're just acquiring certificate, just acquiring certificate. I haven't working in Nigeria as a quant surveyor for about 15 years. I observe one thing, and that is the truth. As at that time, I had only HND. I had national diploma. But I observed one thing, and that thing is that I never went for any interview and I was asked my certificate first. Yeah. I never went for any interview and I was asked for my certificates first. No. The first thing is that they want to know if my duty or my function as a quant surveyor, do I have the contract administration expertise? Am I able to manage a project from inception to completion? Am I able to pinpoint when there is a problem and be able to quickly report the situation? So I was tested based on what experience I have garnered. Let me say on the job experience. So there's this pressure to want to, you want to have more success, you want to have more stuff, you want to have more attention. And then that is why even the desire, the drive, the push for more attention will make most people frustrate most people. But when you understand that in minimalistic living, even in your choices and in your gratification, you have to understand that, see, nothing can actually fill you. It is when you decide that this is when you are able to define your enough. When you're able to define what enough actually means. And now, enough does not mean that you are a mediocre. No. Because, the general saying is that godliness with contentment is great gain. In a minimalistic mindset, you are able to do what? To understand that what matters is much more important than acquiring. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that going for acquiring more certification or more certificates is wrong. No. But the thing is that being able to put to use that certificate. Back home in Nigeria, maybe because we study too much, we study a lot. They say your BSc is now a school certificate. But when you come outside of the Nigerian environment, you will see that it is majorly Nigerians that are acquiring certificates with your first degree. What have you done with your first degree? When I was doing my capstone project here, when I was running up with school and I had to do my capstone project, and that's like final project dissertation. When I was doing my capstone project, I had to happen to work with my school and with the department that does career recruitment and everything. And the lady she told me so that this particular idea concept that last year a student from project management department has started it, and they did it as a research, so that she wants to continue to do it as a research until she feels convinced excuse me, until she feels convinced to move and then implement it. So I don't know, I told her, I said, I hope you don't mind, but how would you know that it is viable if you don't test the waters? She said, what do you mean? I said, oh, you mentioned that there is $5,000 that has been earmarked for this. So but you are keeping that $5,000 in the bid not to waste, not to exhaust or waste the money. I said, well, how would you know that this project is viable if you don't test the waters? And she said, okay, what do you understand? I'm not a project management student. Okay, give me so and I said, okay. And I said, this, can we do this, can we do this, can we do this? She said, really? Okay, fine. But one thing I was very careful of is that I do not, take the shine away from her. Yes. So I was just giving suggestions. So I will give suggestions for her. She was one now going to implement those suggestions. So now, if you look at this, so what was happening was that she was just like out to gather research, and then we continue to do research. And let me tell you something. I finished last year, and since last year that I finished, they have had about five they call it a student leadership summit. They have done about 5 student leadership summits since last year that I finished from that one. And then fortunately I had to come across the lady. If you're watching, Haley, hi. I had to come across her, and then if you see the way she hugged me, even during the project event, she told my professor, said, Rosemary made me take this bold step. So what am I trying to say? Because I have kind of seen that clutter is what is can be very harmful to whatever vision that you have. I was telling a sister over during the week. I said, she was just asking, I said, ma, there's one thing that I do. And like I said, once the idea of a thing comes to my mind, I said, and I know I looked at it and it's something that connects with my vision and I said, I move. I don't wait to gather, gather. I move. So that brings about dynamic listen to whatever it is I do. So that is why that also helps me that nobody steals my idea. So now let's look at decluttering beyond the physical. I said, speaking briefly on, we're talking about 3 types of clutter. I said physical clutter, that's unnecessary things that crowd your space. Then we talk about the mental clutter, where you are overthinking, constant noise, too many commitments. Too many commitments. A lot of us gather commitments like no man's business. Too many commitments. And you find out that when you have too many commitments, you've trained. You don't sometimes the ones that matter are not attended to. So when it comes to minimalistic living, Patrick Olecho says human wants are insatiable. Yes, that's an economist for you. The human wants are insatiable. So no matter what it is, both in your physical, your mental, your physical, your emotional life, it's emotional, holding on to guilt, resentment, or approval seeking. I'm working on it. One thing is that and also another thing is that being in an environment where rancor is common. It does not, maybe I don't know if it is because I'm getting older, no longer works for me. Once the rancor, I'm not talking about a profitable discussion or I would like argument now, or discussion, or banter or whatever. I'm talking about something that once I sight that this environment is tending towards toxicity, and is it that if I have the power to take out whoever it is, or the people that are causing it, I will do that. So when we're talking about minimalism, we're not only talking about just money, your money alone. We'll get there. Now let's talk about money now. Minimalism and financial peace. One of the things I observe, which has always been my this, is that it reduces the pressure to compete with anybody. It reduces the pressure to compete with anybody. And I have one of the things one of the rules in economics that I use, or two fundamental things that I use in economics, was scale of preference and opportunity cost. So I would ideally not. I'm sharing this because we here on this platform, we are practical and relatable example. We like to give relatable and practical examples. I try to intentionally make sure that I do not clutter my life. I'm not perfect, but I'm trying to say, because as a woman, see, as a human being, if you are not able to set priorities, you understand, and you don't intentionally imbibe minimalistic mindset, see, it can never, no matter what it is that you earn, can never be enough. And let me tell you one thing. You will never know that you are actually rich. You will never know that you are actually rich, that you are comfortable, you are rich. Let me put it that way. Rich. There are different levels. You are rich, because you clutter your life with so many things. Possessions. You clutter your life with so many things. So you will never know. But when you sit down and take account of the expenses you have made, you will find out that you are actually what you have it. So when you come to minimalism, when it comes to financial peace, having a minimalistic living mindset will help you create your financial peace. We help you create. I know something. I said living simply brings control over money and peace of mind. So when you are living simply, it brings control over your money and your peace of mind. I was telling someone, a sister, I said, there's something that I don't know, that when it comes to even women and fashion and all that, when it comes to sewing clothes, that you would not ideally know that I don't really do all this snatch clothes. I don't know what they call it. This, that any clothes that I will sew that I cannot open my wardrobe and pull out to wear anytime, I do not engage in such expenditure. Because, and see, there is minimalistic living helps you stand out. To you, people might be thinking that you're standing out. How would I put it now? You are standing out, but people feel that you are odd. But you are actually standing out. You are not odd. You are not standing out. You are the odd one out. So when it comes to minimalism and financial peace, it's a what? It reduces pressure. And let me say something. When you stop buying to prove your worth, you discover you have been rich all along, like I said. But just not in all things, in things. So not only in things, even in the peace that comes to your mind, you discover that what you are not just you are not poor, that you are actually rich. Now, when we talk about now minimalism in your time, when I want to say simplicity also means what you are guarding your time, the use of your time. Time management is one of the most how would I put that? Soft skill that employers look for now. Yes. Time management. One of the things that time management helps you to do, it helps you to prioritize, what is most important. And what? Because by so doing, you as a worker, an employee, and even as someone who owns your own business, you find out that you do what? You achieve more. You achieve more. You achieve more. And it is what you have achieved, or what you achieve is very visible, will be very visible. And you can count the value. You can the value which you have put into it. So a minimalistic living mindset is not a mediocre mindset. It is a mindset that brings peace, that helps purpose, and also that brings joy. Now, I said, being busy when it comes to minimalism, minimalism and time management isn't always productivity. Sometimes it is avoidance. So I want to ask you a question. What will you say? What will you say no to this week to make more space for what really matters? And what are the things that you when it comes to minimalistic living in time, your time management? What is it in your life? What is it in what you are doing that you will say no to, so that you can make time and space for what truly matters? And what are the things that truly matters? Your personal life, prayer life for those who are Christian, family, your aspirations, your dreams. What is that thing? What are those things that you need to say no to? Because, like I said, minimalistic living involves that you are intentional, and you have to grow a mindset for it. Then there is the healing power of simplicity. There used to be a time where I felt that I was too simple in everything. I was let me just say, mainly in appearance, because even in appearance, I felt that I just kind of love simple dressing. I just feel that there's beauty in simplicity, and I was particular about doing that. And in the long run, I found out that it actually helped me, because what happened is I had to build my self-esteem. I had to, I was confident. I felt I was confident, and my self-esteem was healthy enough for me to pull it through. Now, in my professional life, there's something that I remember going for an interview, and the interviewer, it was, opened the architectural drawing, and then, asked me to do something. And then I was trying to show the person that I was very good and very intelligent. I started breaking down. And the man was just looking at me. And he got to that. The man said, he just turned the laptop to himself and did, He said, this is what I wanted to hear from you. So you find out that there was too much cluster. That thing was just cluster. But minimalistic in time management, because he felt, at the end of the day, he said, you are not going to give me value because you're going to spend too much time. Say, okay, how many then he said, how many bill of quantity can you deliver with the number of projects that we have? How many bill of quantity can you deliver at this pace you are doing this? I'm going to be losing clients. So when it comes to minimalistic living, it transcends every area of our lives. So in time management, you're talking about what? Being concise in ensuring that ensuring that you do what, that you can what, you know what you actually want to achieve, and how to the best possible way to do what, to do it. Okay. Another thing I was going to say, minimalism and relationships. Minimalism and relationship. We've talked about minimalism in finance, bringing peace. We've talked about time management. Now we're talking about minimalistic mindset or minimalism in relationship. I know sometimes that not everyone needs access to your life. Not everyone. Oh my goodness. I used to want to be loved by everybody. And believe me, it was not that I had esteem issues. No. I just, because I had prior, people had complained, you are too hard, you are too this, you are too rigid, you are too this. So I started tending towards, being being acceptable, and allowing people to okay, if that's okay. I never knew that I was gradually moving into people pleasing. So when it comes from there, not everybody needs access to you. Discern those who matter to the journey that you are going to your journey. Who are those who matter to it? Discern them. Another thing I also said in terms of, so let go of relationships that drain you, nurture the ones that grow you. Let go of relationships that, there's one shortcoming that I have, but I'm beginning to try to know, because the shortcoming that I have, I don't like hurting people. And when I don't like hurting people, I never see reason to just let people go or try to cut people off. I hardly want to cut people off. But really, over time, I came to understand that, see, you cannot have everybody in your life. You have to be specific about, who you are, what you want, the journey you are going on, and what the people that are needed. And even the funny thing is that people that are needed will be determined at every stage of your journey, or every phase of your journey. There are people that will be in your journey for as long as we go. But there are people that it comes to a time, their time has been spent. And when you continue to keep them, they become baggages. Yeah. They become what? Baggages. Now there's a caveat, a cliche, the sentence I say, you can't hear peace when too many people are speaking in your life. You can't. So I ask yourself, which relationship or relationships do you have now that actually will matter to peace in your life, or matter to your journey? Which of them? Discern them, and with a minimalistic mindset, pick the one that matters to bring rest, to bring joy to you. Now, the healing power of simplicity. Minimalistic mindset just means focus on what matters. The healing power of what? Of simplicity. The healing power of simplicity. I wrote here, I said, minimalism can be deep and a healing. It can be deeply healing. Minimalism can be deeply healing. Yeah. Minimalism can be deeply healing. When you declutter your outer world, your inner world begins to breathe. Yeah. When you declutter your outer world, your inner world begins to breathe. The thing is that the thing that matters to you, okay, for those of us who are Christians, Jesus Christ said it is not what goes into a man that defines the man, but what comes out of a man. So how do you now, what is it that makes up what comes out of you, if not the work that you have worked on the inner person? So the healing power of simplicity helps you to gain deep healing. A minimalistic mindset is what? Is because it involves simplicity. It involves simplicity. I used to say something. I say I have friends of different behavioral, different needs and desire and everything. However, I am, you cannot, it's not right. You cannot make me feel small. I have friends who are party goers, party riders. You cannot make me small. I used to have someone who, hey, we just this and that. I would just smile and look. Ma, no problem, ma. I'm just, because I understood that time in the area of my financial capability. I understood what my financial capability was, and I didn't want to. Because so spending what you don't have is a drain on its own. Is a drain on its own. It's a drain on its own. For example, now people, I remember when I had my first one, even though then we didn't really have much, but scale of preference and opportunity cost helped me. So what I would do is that I would just the pampers I have, when we are going out, I put pampers, I wear pampers, I put extra. But when we're inside the house, I use napkin. I was fortunate, napkin, yeah, that's what they call it now. I was fortunate to be given that gift by my student then. Because I was working as a teacher. So when we talk about it, see, it is only you. You are healing your inner self. You shut these voices of the out. Because let me nobody has your best interest at heart like you should have your best interest at heart. Now, I want to say that everything has its own advantage too. Yes. Minimalism or minimalistic living has its own advantage. You have less stress and clutter. Then it helps you save money. It gives more peace of mind. More time for what matters. And then I said, it is what? Environmental friendly. I just want to put that out. And then there's also another thing that it has its own disadvantage too. It is not an easy mindset to imbibe. It is not. It is not an easy mindset to imbibe, especially for example, let's say minimalistic living when it comes to friends. Some of us believe that your network is your net worth. Yes, I believe. Listen, I believe in it, and I have seen it work. However, you don't have to. Your network must be must be needed and useful to your life. Must be needed and useful to your life. I just observed that when I go to work, I come back here, I just go inside my room and I said to myself, is it that because is it one of the traces of over 40 women? Is it a trace of over 40 women? But people don't believe that I am not outgoing. You see, this is my PA, this is my Canada. They don't believe that I'm not a party rider or party this thing. They don't believe it. In fact, I've had women send me messages. Please, oh, my sister, anytime you have those things, those places you want to go, please, oh, carry me along. Oh, yeah, I want to be going out. And I said, I don't really come out, so I don't really go out. But the thing is that I am specific, intentional about what I attach myself to and how I go about getting those things. So what did I do? I sought association that aligns with what that aligns with my purpose. And what you understand? So when I go to such program, maybe we take pictures or they tag me and all that, or I post, which because I love to post. Please forgive me that. That is one weakness. I love to post. I love to take pictures. You understand what I'm saying now? But then, when I did, I say, see, I go straight from work. I come back to my house, I eat, I sleep. I don't party. Except maybe I have an MC thing to do. But what I'm not trying to tell you to live my life. But the thing is that there are so many things that has been taken out of, that I don't battle with. I don't fight with, or I don't that doesn't come my way. She said, they said. You understand what I'm saying now? Oh, this is this. This is that. She's the one that said it. She's the one. That has been, because those are clutters in your relationship. They are clutters in your relationship. Now it has its own disadvantage, like I said. And what I said, it may feel restrictive. Now it is. It is. I said, some find minimalism too confining, especially at first. The adjustment can feel like deprivation until one learns to value experiences over possession. So, minimalistic living can feel very restrictive. Yeah. It can feel very, very restrictive. But then, like I said, it is an intentional living. You have to practice. You have to practice. You have to practice it. When it comes to, my financial life, I don't know if it's wrong or not. But one thing is that I spend money I spend money on what grows me or what grows my family. You understand what I'm saying? That is what I spend money on. Not that I don't wear clothes. Like this clothes that I'm wearing now. It's over 6 years. So so that means that I was telling my son, I said, the problem you have for asking me for a new phone when I have just paid your school fees and you are going to school is because for every need that you have, for every need don't forget I said need, not want, for every need which is necessary, because need too fall into, there are some needs that are not necessary, but it's a need, but it's not necessary. What purpose is it serving part time? I said, you have never had no, I don't have. You have never had it. I said, because of the lifestyle that I have imbibed, I have disciplined myself to live. That I have disciplined myself to live. So, it can be restrictive, but it is doable, because in the long run, the return of it is very, very important. And then it can be hard to start. It can be very hard to start. Letting go of sentimental or costly items can be emotionally heavy. I remember telling someone, I said, I don't know, please forgive me if it is wrong, I don't know. I said, I don't even know what gold looks like. It's not a poverty mindset. I don't even know. I can't identify gold. Yet I am not poor. Yet you cannot call people who are poor and I will become. I am not owing in debt, as in, somebody, a friend, coming together that they had to offset some money they are owing about, is it 10 million or so. And I say, my dear, how did you pay your own? And I said, I'm not owing. She said it's a lie. I said, I'm not owing. I said, I'm not owing. It's not pride. It's not because when I was coming to Canada, I came with, it's funny, the pot, small pot, 2 small pots that I was, because I just said to myself, when I get here, before I go, I will try to settle down, do everything. Because the money that I had already budgeted it. I cannot sleep outside. I have to pay for rent. So I had the money budgeted that I had budgeted. I will pay for rent. At least before I get a job, I should be able to pay for rent consecutively for about 3 months. Because I already got the connection and got in the accommodation. I should be able at least to pay for rent for about even 2 or 3 months before I get a job. But funny enough, so I came with pot. Yeah. The pot I was, because when I go for outstation job, that's at that time when I was stationed in Lagos. I had a project. So where I was living, the pot, 2 small pot that I bought, I washed it, I cleaned it, I still use it now. And I put it in my bag. When I came here and I didn't come with, if I had not come with pot, I was to buy used pots, like Okirika pot. But here the Okirika is big thing here. One was $20. I didn't have it there. $20. Okirika, $20 is about 20,500 thereby naira. I didn't have it. And then it was even higher that time. I'm talking about 20,000 plus now. Then to convert from naira to Canadian dollars was about if I got the time, I got to 1,300 naira. 1,000. We even did about 1,350, 1,400. So for me to now break down and get this, and that was how. So that was what I did. So my dear, when it comes to minimalistic living, it can be hard to start, but let go of sentimental or costly items. I know that people say, there's a way, there are ways to invest money. You can buy gold, you can buy. Fine, if for everybody that it is working for, but just make sure that you are not cluttering your life. Because like I said, you find out that you actually have, at the beginning of the year, we talked about, I was one that took it in January, talked about, blueprints for a successful year. And one of these, I said, was that for us to intentionally write down our expenses. And I was going through, so I decided to, last week, I sat down and I took my notes. It's on my bed here. Because I just leave it on my bed so that I will not feel lazy to go. So it's on my notebook. And I started adding all the money, my income from January 2025 up to, I did not include October, up to September. My income, sir. My income. As small as I am still patching. And I found that, maybe I should bring it. And that what had come into my account, what had come as earning was over 28,000 Canadian dollars. That's even like the small level of earning. So I said to myself, I convert it. That's over 30 million naira. Yet I am just, I don't even fall in the cadre now. Which job I'm doing? I'm an education assistant, which is like the assistant teacher. You understand now? So I don't even fall in the cadre of people who are, making this. However, for someone who, and this, I also put in my expenditure, and believe me, I have done huge things. Yes, I have done huge things. I have done big things from that. Listen, this thing. So now I'm not trying to. This is not exactly how I was made, but I'm just trying to say that on this platform we do not say what we don't practice. And most times you find out that women think, she's rich, she's rich. No. That has been my life, even back from Nigeria. That has been. So when you are talking about it, can be hard. It is hard. But I was telling someone, I said, see, if you are not living a minimalistic life from Nigeria, I said, no, be Canada, you go start up. Because it is a journey. It is a journey. Now, another was not practicable for everyone. Yeah, it is not practicable for everyone. He said, large families or certain professions may naturally require more possession. Minimalism, therefore, should be flexible, not a rigid rule book. So, that it is not practicable for everyone, it does not mean that it is not doable. He said it's not practicable, does not mean that it is not what? It is not doable. I was talking to my landlady. She came and she was like, you have to pay. And that's why I said, I'm not paying more for that one. You know why? I said, because you collect your money. Here we pay monthly. So my this falls on the 30th of every month to pay for the next month. I said, I have not failed to pay you. I said, even when I wanted to travel to go home to see my family in Nigeria, I said, I paid you middle of the month. Now, if it is not a life that I have intentionally lived, minimalistic living might make you, believe me, in Nigeria, most people feel that I was poor. Yeah. But one thing is that for you to be able to imbibe a minimalistic mindset, you have to settle within yourself, understand who are you, and know yourself. You have to settle within yourself. And one thing is that when you have that minimalistic mindset, you find that other aspect of your life, in order to be, that will help you, enhance it and implement it, will be amplified. So as I am like this, my improvisation, I improvise. My improvisation, as in, before I improvise. Yeah, I improvise. I tell you that since I came to Canada, I've only bought clothes once. I ordered on Shein, because here most of the new clothes. No, okay, let me say twice. Recently I just bought one gown because I wanted to myself. So I bought the gown. I bought the gown about almost $60, and I said, "Leave. What is this?" It is not because but the fact that I have prioritized my choice, and see, it helps me live. I am at peace. Nobody's knocking for me. Nobody's asking me for mercy. This year, when I came to Canada, I had Elizabeth. Please forgive me if you are watching. My friend. Okay, I had two people who people who actually helped me. My big sis. She supported with my. Help me with flights and everything, because she had to buy it from here with Canadian dollars and all that. And then I also had my friend Elizabeth borrow me 500,000 naira. And while I was still trying to find my feet, I didn't pay. I was not be able to pay. But I finished paying it. I paid. So I reached out to her. I said, "Babe, I beg, please let me pay this money 2 times." She said, "No problem." I was supposed to pay it 2 times. So I paid 250. It's not that I had it though. That's what I'm saying. That I paid 250. And then I paid off the money when she was done. Because me, this thing is that there's a sense of reward of doing the right thing. So because if you don't clutter your life. You're able to discern what really matters, and you're able to do the right thing. When I traveled to Nigeria, I said I was going to do glasses, and I did glass, and I went to my friend Dr. Sarah, and I had glasses and everything. And I told her, I said, please, I don't have that much. I want to leave money for my family and all that. Okay, so I paid her a particular amount, and I said, as I come back by the end of the month, latest, I'm going to balance you. And so when I paid her, she said, most of you abroad will owe me, you will not pay me. And I'm like, she said yes. He said because they know that she cannot reach them. She cannot be there, don't pay. And I said, no, that's not my. So when it help, minimalistic might help you strategize and plan what is needed. Let me against time. I said it's not practical for everybody. I said can be misunderstood. See, you can until you are comfortable with being misunderstood because you are living a minimalistic mindset or minimalistic life, you will not be consistent. You will fall out of, or you go out of the way, and you fall. You understand? Because what people say or what they will say will disturb you. And sometimes when you are seeing people and you are seeing everything, and then you want to be like them, it's normal. It happens to everybody. When we but then, like I said, it amplifies every other area of your life. So you actually find out that, you can actually be a stylist. I'm not talking about stylist hair. You can actually, so you open your wardrobe and you see your clothes. You say you don't have clothes, but by the time you merge, you become a stylist. You get to go to color combination. You start, and then when you wear it, everybody say, this is beautiful. And then there's a pink gown I bought it in Nigeria, Okrika. The gown, I think I bought it 1,200. Anytime I wear that gown to church here, they want to collect it from me. Anytime I wear that gown to church, or I wear it to school, to work, oh my goodness, that day I had to restrict myself to my class. So see, you may be misunderstood, but the aftermath or the end of it is you that will benefit it. Minimalistic living has helped me. I told someone, I said, see, while I was running my program at Bells, at my B.Tech program, I was paying school fees consistently. We're eating. There was nothing. It's not a prayer. Not everything prayer they work for. But there's one thing I want to do for those of us who are, religious or spiritual people. I want to tell you that even God will commit unto your hand more. He said, if you are not faithful in that little which belongs to others, who will commit unto you? Others, even you can fall into others, because even though you think I work, it's my money, but you had to sacrifice. You went to work, you woke up early, you did this, you went through stress, so it is also, that thing is also belong to others. So if you are not faithful in it, oh my goodness, thanks, apologies. So, and they said it will involve less personal expression. With fewer items to display or decorate with, some may feel limited in expressing their personality or creativity. Yet, this challenge often inspires deeper self-expression through values, experiences, and relationships instead of material symbol. In the end, minimalism is not about owning less. It's about making room for more in life. Over time, its impact stretches beyond tidy spaces. It shapes a future defined by clarity, gratitude, and balance. So as you think about your next purchase, next plan, or next season of life, pause and ask yourself this question. Is this adding peace or pressure? Will this serve my life in the long run? Because ultimately, minimalism is not a loss. It is a gain in disguise. Until I come your way next week Saturday, my name is Rosemary Henrieze, and this is the Young Women and Wives with Burdens and Blessings discussion platform. Stay blessed. Bye.